Hi, all. Uh, well, I didn't put my last video up, but I'm actually putting two videos up at the same time. The last video is put up at the same time as this. You saw my Iron Man puzzle that I bought. It took us 6 days, 1,000 piece puzzle. Put it together. Missing a piece. I took it back to Walmart. Bought another one. Returned it. Got another one. Hopefully, this one, when I put it together, will have all the pieces. So, got that. Other thing that I got, Anthony came over. He bought Hero Quest, started putzing around. So I bought some more stuff. I'm going to start painting what miniatures I already have primed. Get them out of the way. So I went and I bought some glow-in-the-dark colors, acrylics. And I bought some glitters to add. So if it's like snow, I got some glitters for whites. Add a little bit glitter for gold, like especially if you have gold money pile. Give it some little glistening factors. And I figure I have a lot of underwater creatures and stuff like that. So I got glue. I got them. My aunt sent my daughter a mushroom while it broke when she was in the room. I glued it, repainted it, but it got a shine, and I didn't have a gloss, so I ended up having to go buy gloss. So that'll be fixed for her, and you won't even know it's broken. Got that. But today a package came in the mail for me, which I already know what it is. I already have the game. It's sealed, but I don't want to open. Some of the games I got, when I bought them, they come sealed. I'm like, I don't really want to open a sealed game. It's like, if it's brand new, never been opened, keep it that way. So another Intellivision game I bought that I ended up getting sealed. I replaced Intellivision Bomb Squad. So that's going to have to be checked out and played. I also picked up 3 things of super glue. And when I was at Walmart, I came across this Dark Knight's Death Metal soundtrack. Paid $30 for it. It's a double record set, exclusive orange vinyl with a Batman trading card. I'm not going to take it out of the package. I'm just going to throw it in my record collection. Because I've seen some people want $50 for it already, and I'm like, I think $30 for a record is steep, especially growing up. I don't understand. It's like crazy how records came back in. I grew up. I told my daughter, I said, back in the day when records came out, and even when I worked up at WIA, it cost us $1 to press a record, and hell, couldn't even. I mean, at the end, the records, they still made them, but it wasn't the biggest thing. I mean, we still had cassette tapes towards the end. By the time I left in 2000, and here it is, 2022, and records are coming back like a beast. CDs and the sad thing is, I always did like vinyl. But you look at the space of a vinyl record, how big it is. Yes, it's narrow as hell, but I can fit more CDs in a space in the space a record can hold. But I also picked up 3 new Hot Wheels cars. Batman, number 71 to 250, high weed speed, 4.5, new for 2022. And Experimentors 2 of 10, number 27 to 250, Lego one. So I picked up 3 new Hot Wheels cars. I just can't believe my luck, though. Glad my wife, found a job. In fact, my wife is having problems with her boss. Boss didn't want to pay her overtime because last week she worked 75 hours because the guy on day shift didn't want to work a shift. So she called and talked to the boss's son. The son goes, "Yeah, you can work both shifts." But then the guy didn't want to pay her the overtime for working the 35 hours over her 40. And I was like, this is not the first time this happened. This is not the second or third or whatever. But I'm just happy she's done with this company after today, and she's gonna start with having medical benefits and everything. And I'm gonna start working on some of these up here, miniatures, and because I already started painting base coats on a lot of this, like base coat on the rock spider here. I did the back stalag, the base, and just painted it black as a base coat. To glue it onto the base again. And then I did an altar and candle, and I also did this, whatever this rock monster was with the tentacles. I'm gonna paint it and put the tentacles in, and then from there touch up the but hopefully by then that'll pop. So actually I bought the paints because my colors are running out, and there's glitter stacks, so that works out good because I'll be able to stack it up on my board, my area here, my work area. But that's everything's been going on here. Doing puzzles with my mother-in-law. My dad came down last week at the birthday. He brought me, let me get this back. If I can reach it, I should have had it closer to me. Bunch of smashed DVDs and CDs. Most of it's Awesome in the Piece, Christmas in the Air, Famous Christmas Carols 2D set, highlighted church music. My Vince Gill, Country Christmas, Bing Crosby Christmas, No Christmas Homecoming, Christmas Shoes, Wonder Love. His my new stepmom, she didn't want the stuff, so my dad was like, "You want the stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it. I'll go through it. If I don't have the movie, whatever." I got some other movies now. The Perfect Man. 2 hours of festive Christmas music sits a beautiful traditional fireplace. He was acclaimed. Beethoven's Fifth. Just Like Heaven, which had that movie, but it was my stepdaughter, and she took it. Free Willy, Escape from Pirates Cove. The Karate Kid, starring Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. I had a copy of this. I didn't particularly care for Jaden Smith. Superman Returns, which is a double on the going out to the garage for sale. Batman Begins, I know that's a double because I have that. The Cross and the Switchblade. A contemporary classic. Catherine Zeta-Jones, this was a good movie. I did like that. And then sent me some VHS tapes. White Christmas, A Blank, and The Bells of St. Mary's. Which I have White Christmas on DVD. And The Bells of St. Mary's, I loved that movie when I was a kid. I remember watching that. It came around at Christmas time, so that's pretty much what I got. I actually have to add these into my movie list. Haven't been. Today was go to Walmart day, get stuff. Since around here, our Walmart and our Giant and Rice Krispies is a hard commodity to get. And today I scored 4 giant size, king size boxes. So I'm like, yay! So I'm like, whoopee! And I don't know what's going on with Biden, and I don't know. My last video I got, well, I should say 2 videos ago, I got sentimental and political and all. It's bizarre. From school, my daughter ended up bringing home a rabbit 3 days ago. And this morning the rabbit died. And it's funny because I was talking about death and that my 2 videos ago, and I was like, she took agriculture in her Votech, and her. I mean, this is what I'm talking about with schools here in Ohio. Probably in general, I don't know how it is in anybody else's area. What we had when we were kids is basically everything was provided for us. We didn't have to want to go and have to worry about it. Your musical instruments were provided by the school. You had art. All that stuff was taken care of. It seems like every generation keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Well, her Future Farmers of America program they had chicks and stuff in the school. Now it's like, no, no, no. So now they had to get rid of the animals. And they had who was going to take care of them. So this poor girl had a bunch of rabbits she was stuck taking care of. So my daughter took one off of her hands until she could find a better one. And this poor rabbit came to live with us. And I guess it developed floppy bunny syndrome is what my daughter was devastated. I felt bad because the rabbit was cute as hell. I mean, not skittish, nothing. I held the rabbit. The rabbit, first day she brought it and came out in the living room. Now I have 3 dogs. I have an indoor cat, and I have 3 outdoor cats. I have 3 ferrets in the house. And the ferrets have a big cage in my daughter's room. And the rabbit wasn't skittish, but as it stayed here, it started breathing real heavy, and I got worried because he didn't want to move, and I said to her, I said, we got to get her to the vet, and didn't have time because the storm hit, came on, and we were going to take it to the vet today, and woke up this morning and it was stone cold dead. And I was like, I don't know what my daughter looked up online trying to find out what to do for it. Went and put all these water bottles that she had because she had guinea pigs before. She put all this things in water so the thing wouldn't get dehydrated. And now too, the storm, all our ground around the house is frozen solid. So I wrapped it up in a blanket and stuck it in a box, and I'm gonna have to bury her. Because even when she told me, she called me up, and my wife was just amazed that I said she could bring home another animal. And I'm like, well, the thing was, she'd bring it home if she found another place for it down the road. I don't mind her doing that, like taking as long as she found a better place for it to live. Because, like I said, the school was supposed to be the place for those things for the Future Farmers of America. But as usual, it didn't happen. And I hate to see anything have to suffer where it could be taken care of someplace else. My daughter said she would take care of it. Even though I basically take the ferrets out every day. She does clean the cage, and she does feed them. But I get the 2 boys and the girl out in my bedroom going ballistic every day, or at least every other day I take them out. It's hard though, because in the movie Beastmaster, they like to steal stuff, and they really do. If you don't watch them all the time, they will get up on top of your dressers, take stuff, jump down, drop it down on the floor, and take it underneath your dressers and hide the stuff. I have been missing 1 shoe, 1 slipper. I mean, if you're looking to, find a set of something and you're missing one of it, the best bet is sit there with a flashlight. If you're in a hurry to go somewhere, forget it. Especially if one's missing. I'd have to go and get another pair of shoes out, because got to make sure too when I bring them into my room that I make sure my closet door is closed, because I don't want them in my closet door. But I'm gonna go now and prepare supper, see what we want. Everybody wants to eat tonight for supper, because tomorrow we're having Keegan's 6th birthday party, even though there is no February 29th this year. Mr. Leap Year baby. Took him to the doctors. They're switching his medication again because he's lost over close to 11 pounds with the medication he was on for his ADHD. So they put him on a different, I think they put him on Ritalin compared to the other one that he was on. So we're dying to see what's going to work for him. His focus at school is a little bit better, but not where we want it. But I hope everything is okay for everybody out there who subscribe and view my channel. I just hope the world becomes a better place that we all live in. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Like my last video, I actually, keep hoping that everything does work out better. But I don't know. I just think things were better before I was born than they are today. Seems like people tolerated more crap back in the 50s than they do now. I mean, yeah, there was problems, but not like craziness. And that's all I keep thinking. I just can't get my head wrapped around half the stuff that goes on. I mean, newest thing I saw, let me just tap this. I saw a thing about Jerry Lewis. Now, Jerry Lewis is dead. Now, what's the point in going after a dead person? It's like, what can you get? Now, drag, okay, the thing, I'm like, I don't understand people. I really don't. I can see if he was still alive, make him admit his guilt or something, but he's dead. I just don't understand half the stuff I see anymore. I just can't wrap my head around half the stuff I hear or actually read. Like this whole stuff with this Joe Rogan, this Spotify stuff, like the Neil Young and all these guys that backed down. Like, during the 60s, they were all like, voice your opinion. Well, okay. No matter what it is, even if he's wrong for having the stuff on, he's actually giving his opinion, his free speech. So if they're pissed off about that, they're hypocrites, as far as I'm concerned, because they grew up of a generation where, even if he's wrong, spewing whatever he is, and he's wrong, he's voicing an alternate opinion on something. That's his opinion. So therefore, it shouldn't matter to them. I'm sure if they wanted to say something, hey, why don't they go on Spotify and say, listen, can I have a talk show for my own version, or can I go on your show and have my opinion aired? That would have been better off. I just find out that sometimes I just wonder, hey, it's just craziness. Like my daughter sits there and she's like looking like with this vinyl stuff, and I tell her, I said, vinyl was big, and then came 8-tracks and then cassette tapes and then the CD, and I said, there's always going to be something. Then it was MP3. I go, the sad thing is, there's always going to be something bigger, better. And I was just keeping up with the Joneses and stuff. I said, people always got to have the bigger, better thing. That's why there's so much waste. And you look at stuff, and I look at like all the stuff I have, and it's like, when I really do die, because like I'm 50-some years old, what's my actual, I can die tomorrow. What does all this I have, it really means absolutely jack crap. And I'm trying to get my daughter into understanding, maybe I'm wrong, but it's different. The times are different. It's like, I don't have the family connections like I did. If my family was like how it was when I was a kid, I think maybe things would be different, and I wouldn't have the need for all this garbage. I think but my family didn't stay close because they all off doing the same thing. It's like it's always the hooray for me, to hell with you. Like I'd call them up and say, "You want to come down? Come down, spend some time." Or, "Okay, can I come up and visit?" "No, we're doing this, we're doing that." So it's like, okay, it's just rough. Because I got cousins I would love to go visit and see. Like when I went up to Buffalo, to Niagara Falls. Now, my dad did not want me to go with him to visit when my aunt died. He says, "You can't handle the trip and you're back and you can't." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's my aunt. I can sit there and suffer through, her funeral." And he's like, "No." He goes, "You loved her," and she understood. Because I even talked to her on the phone. She's like, "No, you stay home." And of course, when we went up there, I was in pretty decent shape because I made sure I didn't do nothing for days before I went. Even though when I went up there, I suffered for walking on that trip. And went to my cousin's house, and she answered the door. She didn't recognize me, and she told me, "Go come back another day. I'm not feeling good." I'm like, "I'm not gonna say who I am." If she didn't recognize me, she had to recognize me because I didn't change that much. So that was it. Because I talked to the neighbor. The neighbor knew who I was after I, told. And he said, "Hey, he was a little bit heavier and gray, but I'm bald." And I was telling him everything, and I was telling him, what happened to me, because I haven't seen him in, God, 20 years. And I was telling him everything that happened to me, and he had no clue about everything I went through. And I was telling him how fast time flies. I was like, I can't believe that I'm raising grandkids. It's like, but at one point, I was living with my folks. Not a care in the world. Had a job. Was living at home, collecting, just enjoying myself, my family. We would go to card conventions, comic book conventions. And now, blink of an eye, 20 some years later, mom's gone. Dad's remarried to somebody else. He hardly does anything. Even though he's coming down tomorrow, so don't know what we'll do, but we'll hang out. We'll probably watch television. Because last time he was up, uh, he laid down. He helped me box up some board games. We actually looked up a board game. You guys want to see something funny? Milton Bradley, 1968. Win a card. There's one of them on eBay. And it's sealed and unopened. The guy wants $25,000 for it. Now, it's crazy because it's sealed. You don't know if the moisture got in. There's a chance you could pull a Nolan Ryan rookie card in Gem Mint. But, first off, any old Topps cards, if anybody who knows anything about Topps back in the day, first off, Topps cards are never cut right to begin with. So for you to say, "Oh, I pulled a Gem Mint Topps card," I'm like, well, first off, Topps cards were never perfectly cut right anyway. So for you to pull a Topps card that's like a 9.5 or better, it's like, okay, God must have smiled upon you, because I have 19, I think I have a Reggie Jackson rookie card, and I paid $325 for it. I mean, it's almost perfectly centered, and I mean, front and back. And it makes me sick to see how much it is. And I don't want to go get it graded, because I shouldn't have to go get it graded if you look at it. I mean, the corners are sharp, almost perfectly centered. And I look at the price guides, and it's like, I paid $3.25 for it back in 1998 or 99, and it's books for half of what it's worth. And it's like, wow. And you wonder, hey, what are you going to do now? Because like I said, cards and all this stuff, it's only what somebody's willing to pay you. That's why is stuff from the 60s worth more from the sometimes worth more than stuff from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. It should be, you know, based on not the popularity. It should be by the age and the scarcity, because you can still go to a lot of these big shows and see tons of it. I mean, like I said, back when freaking Spider-Man #1 Amazing Fantasy 15, I went to Philadelphia Comic Con, and every comic book dealer had those 2 issues, and I was like, it can't be that rare. Everyone had it. Every comic book dealer there had a copy of it. And I'm like, to me, that said, okay, little light bulb went off, and I mean, ding, lights on, and I'm like, Joe, that book is not that scarce. And you go on eBay. To me, a book that's on eBay, like, okay, like back to that this winter card. There's only one complete one that sold that was on eBay. It was in the package, and the guy wanted 25 grand for it. And I told my dad, I said, that's not. But here's the thing about it. I wouldn't pay $25,000 for it, because you don't know. First off, it only came with so many cards, and you don't know what cards you're going to get. There's a chance you can get a Nolan Ryan rookie card. A chance. I wouldn't pay $25,000 for a chance to get one Nolan Ryan rookie card. Yeah, there's some other guys you might be able to get, but still, $25,000. If I was going to spend $25,000, I'd buy a car. A classic car that holds its money. There's other things that I can spend $25,000 on that it would probably, you know, be a lot more worth it. If I had $25,000 to spend, if I had $25,000 to spend, I can tell you right off the bat, I have a Showcase 22. I'd have the first, right off the bat, no, my top 3 grails, right off the bat. Showcase 22, #1, boom. That means I would have Green Lantern's first, second, and third appearance, and then I would have all of his Silver Age run finished, boom, done. I would also go and get, I would also probably buy the first appearance of the Atom, and work on finishing the Atom series. I would like to get the first appearance of Iron Man. First appearance of the Silver Surfer, and probably work on the Fantastic Four, since I picked up some. But see, I wouldn't know if I would, like, I love Spider-Man, but I wouldn't know if I would want to spend the kind of money that they want for Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's a book that is, I think, way overpriced, all of them. I think if I had the money, I would go with titles. I would buy like Iron Man and Hulk, Captain America, if I was going to be buying Marvel titles. Just from all the years of collecting and seeing what was out there. I would probably buy the Marvel Monster titles more too. I'd probably go for, like, you know, Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, because I don't see a lot of that stuff when I used to collect and go to, like, all the comic book shops. And trust me, I used to go to a lot of shops when I was younger. I mean, Allentown, Philly, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, I hit them all in the area. I used to go all over the place. Me and my mom put a lot of miles on the car. Station wagon. But those are titles that if I had the money, I actually also would probably work on my X-Men. Not earlier stuff, the stuff from, you know, the new X-Men series, from Giant Size X-Men up. I'd get stuff like that. I'd actually get the other Hulk issue that supposedly now the first appearance of Wolverine. You know, I have technically the one that was, when they said was the original Hulk. The original Wolverine appearance, which is the Hulk, was a 180. That's another thing too. It's like, make up your guys' minds. First appearance of Red Sonja, have that. No, it's not that. No, it's that's her first. That's her first. That's her cameo, but it's technically the first one she actually showed up in. Okay, but now it's not. Uh, I love how now it's not. It's like same thing with the Wolverine. Well, it's his first appearance. He's on the last page. You can see his full body, and he says something. But now it's not. Now it's the next one where he's actually on the cover fighting, and that's his first appearance. I just don't agree with all this because it's like ridiculous. What's the first appearance? What ain't the first appearance? Because you can go nuts like Spider-Man black costume. Secret Wars, or is it Marvel team ups, or is it this, or is it that, or is it whatever? You know, you can do the same thing with Gambit. Oh, is it this issue or is it that issue? It's like it's a bloody can of worms as far as I'm concerned. I liked it better when the stuff was cheap. You can go and buy them, and it was none of the stuff was everything's keys. You know what? I liked it better when you bought it and you needed you wanted the whole series because you wanted the whole storyline. You wanted to know the whole thing, read it all. And out of the 6, well, I still have one more issue I have to put up for sale, but it's funny. I finally got my money off of eBay. It only took them 3 weeks, or was it 2.5 or whatever. But I was supposed to receive my money by the 13th of the 12th or the 13th of February. I got my money this past week. And today's what? The 20th, whatever. But I still have these 3 books that I have to sell. I have up on eBay to sell. Superboy 173, The Outlaw Kid number 12, and Justice League of America number 15. And the sad thing is, I think altogether, Justice League 17, the guy was very happy. He was like, I think altogether he paid $11 for the book after shipping, or $12 for the book after shipping. And I guess he was really pleased with it. So I was like, I try taking pictures of the whole cover on it and everything. It's hard. It's hard to describe a comic book for me because I grade really, 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 really rough anyway. Because I go down to smell too. I sit there, even if there's a hint of odor, boom. Because right there, to me, because pretty much that you're not going to get, you're going to get that with pretty much anything old and musty. I basically ranked my 17, that Justice League 17, in very good condition. It probably wasn't better than very good condition. It was probably better than a 4.0 book. But that's what I ranked it as, about 4.0. And it'd be funny if he actually got it for me and it was actually like a 5.0 or better, because I'm really, really, really terrible at grading a book when it comes to, because I'm actually more hypercritical. But I do know this. I know this I would only rate as a book in good condition. But I see some people like who post just the cover and it gets a 1. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's just the cover. It's not even the book, but it gets a 1. I don't know how these grading people get. To me, if you're going to grade a book, right, and it's just the cover, that should get not even, it should get like maybe a 0.1. Because to me, if the book, if the comic's there, if it gets a 10, if it's going to be a 10.0, and it's just the cover, it's not even a tenth of the book is there. So it shouldn't even get a 1. That's like somebody was selling flakes from Action Comics #1, just like flakes from the, and people were paying it, and it was a couple $100 up for flakes. And I'm like, you guys are flakes for paying it. I just was like, my head was spinning when I saw some of this stuff. Like, I have all these books. I think I have them started at like a $2 or $3, and then the biggest thing is the shipping. The shipping kills me on eBay. First off, eBay should not be charging people fees towards their shipping and over total value fees on the shipping, because it's ridiculous. People pay enough shipping this stuff to people. I mean, to ship this first class mail is at least $6. I mean, it's crazy now. And you don't believe me? Go to the post office and get a price. I mean, it's ludicrous. I mean, a box, packing tape, cardboard to sandwich it between. And usually what I try to do is either wrap them in a bag or wrap them between two pieces of tissue paper. Right? Try to put it nice between that and put it in the cardboard and make sure it's nice and stiff. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, pricing to ship stuff anymore, and sometimes you go and you can't even use media mail because it depends. I mean, what post office you go to. I mean, there's people that says, well, the person won't let me send it to you media mail. I'm like, why not? It's a book. It's a movie. It's a record. It's media. Well, according to them, you have to have an account with them that you're a licensed dealer. I'm like, well, technically, I don't know if that's true, but I have no clue because I've never had a problem with that. I've been using media mail for decades. For that, because it's supposed to be, when you're selling, shipping that stuff, supposed to be, that's what it's supposed to be used for. Because I think it's crazy if you're gonna send a movie, like, you'll pay more to send this than what it's actually worth. And same thing with, believe it or not, the book, the guy that's 17, the guy won it for $5 off me. And it actually cost me I charged $5 and some cents to ship it, because by the time fees and everything were taken out, I broke even on the sale on the book. So I think I made a total of whopping 50 cents on the comic book, which I was happy, because let's just put it this way. What I tell you, people, when I bought the book, as long as I come out ahead, I'm happy. Because I sold stuff on eBay where I've taken a loss, and it's like, that's when and the sad thing about eBay now is they don't want to deal with PayPal. We don't want anything linked to your PayPal account. So I had to wait for me to get my money from them too. And it's like, when am I going to get my money? And out of the 3 comic books I sold, I ended up getting $40 of sales and stuff that came out the foot, and all I got was $33 after that, because they took almost $10 in fees. Yeah. But the 2 Silver Surfer books, I made a nice chunk of change on. Well, they were in really nice shape, and that guy was really happy with those 2. In fact, the guy sends me a message. Do you have these 2 issues? I'm like, yeah, my collection, but not doubles. He was hoping I would have had the 2 other issues that he needed for his collection. I'm like, nope, just in mine. I'm lucky that lady had all those issues that she had, but I actually have to order 1,000 bags and boards of Silver Age stuff, because I have a lot of books that I got to get bagged and boarded and then put into my collection. But I'm gonna have to go. And as always, yeah, because my daughter just posted something. I want to see what she said. So I thank you all for viewing and subscribing. And as always, King Joe out.